day. Even though the celebration of Women's Day is a bit delayed in Aaivalayam, but it's really a good start, I say. We also plan to have a series of lectures to motivate and Women's Day, I mean, it's not to focus on women, but it's more focusing on both genders, like men and women, and to have some equality and also to motivate each other to grow in science. So basically, the main aim should be to benefit the society. So every one of us strive towards improving or towards contributing the society. So whether it can be a men or women, so we should, if we work together by motivating each other and by supporting each other, for sure our country and also as a globe, yes, we also do some good things to the globe too. So it's my great pleasure to welcome Dr. Archana here today for the webinar. And Archana Mishra, Dr. Archana Mishra is currently working as a postdoctoral researcher in MagTop Institute of Physics, Polish Academy of Sciences, Warsaw, Poland. And her bachelor's was from Devi Women's Autonomous College, Odisha, and she did MSc from Department of Physics, Utkal University, Bhubaneswar, Odisha, and she joined her PhD in IMSc Chennai. Later, after her PhD, she joined KAIST as a postdoctoral researcher. She worked on the study of interaction in the Hofstadter regime of the honeycomb lattice for her PhD. Basically, she had achieved many laureates in her research career. So she was the recipient of university gold medal, Ashok Kumar Mishra Memorial Gold Medal, and also during her MSc, and she received Gopal Chandra Memorial Gold Medal for securing first position in her BSc graduation too. So it's really a great pleasure to have you, Archana, here today. I warmly welcome you, and I also welcome all the participants to the webinar. Hope Archana will inspire you and motivate you towards research. Thank you very much. I'll hand over the session to Archana. Yeah, the platform is yours. Please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Joyce, for this introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. And I am thankful to Aaivalayam Dirak for inviting me to share my journey, my experience as a woman researcher in physics. I am humbled by the invitation. And this is my first non-scientific talk. So I hope I do justice to it. And I hope after my talk, some of the young minds here get motivated to pursue their dreams in the career of their choice with a positive mindset. So I currently work as postdoctoral researcher in MagTop, Poland. The journey till here has seen ups and downs, success and failures, but the journey is still ongoing. And here today I will present my quest into the mysteries of nature in physics in this talk. Can you see my second slide? I hope it's visible.
Yes, so, yes.
I'll start my talk by a quote by Max Planck. Science cannot solve the ultimate mystery of nature, and that is because in the last analysis, we ourselves are a part of the mystery that we're trying to solve, which suggests the human limitations. In this vast universe, humans are just speck of dust, yet with their own limitations. Yet we aspire to understand, to investigate, to discover the natural phenomena, because in this vast ocean, even understanding a drop is a big step, because after sometimes at some point of time, understanding these drops will help us understand many or most of the natural phenomena, if not all. Uh, I think the steps toward unraveling the nature include motivation, support, self-determination, creativity, hard work, perseverance, confidence, clear thinking, humor, and there are many more factors. But I would present my talk with the relevance of these parameters in my life as a researcher. Progress is impossible without motivation. My motivation to enter into physics, the research in physics, was from childhood. I had in my house, the environment was always prioritizing education, encouraging education. My father is a professor in physics, and my mother had done her master's in botany. So we always had free thinking, open questioning, learning new aspects was always encouraged in my house. And especially, I was inspired by my father. He was my role model because he is an experimental physicist, experimental condensed matter physicist, and I was able to visit his lab in my childhood. So seeing his dedication and passion for research, the way he interacted and made his work understand to his students, and the experimental equipments, everything fascinated me. So I was always tilted towards entering into research since childhood. After 12th in India, many students opt for either engineering or medicine, because most of the coaching classes are also for engineering and medicine. Very few students actually get attracted to a third branch, which is basic science. Maybe because of the stability issue, like that might be in their mind. But yeah, very few people actually come into basic science line. So after my 12th, I also had appeared for entrances for engineering and medicine, and I got selected in engineering, both in the national and state level entrances. But I was always I always wanted to go into basic science. I always wanted to pursue my career in research, and this was always supported by my family also. I believe that young minds, they should be exposed to this line. They should be allowed to visit research institutes to see how the experiment work, how the theoretical professors should interact with these students, so that these young minds get motivated towards basic science also, and that will help, because all these three fields are equally essential for the development of science in the society. And like in my PhD days, we used to arrange science days where college students, school students were allowed to come and see different demonstration, science demonstration, and have science quiz and everything, which was very interesting for them. And I hope they got interested in joining, pursuing their career in research. Support is essential, but if you don't get support, if you don't find enough support outside, then the one crucial and essential factor is determination. One should be determined to follow his or her own dream, and to fight all odds to pursue his or her dream. So the person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Uh, your determination to follow your path, follow the path you want to follow, will actually bring the external support. They will be motivated seeing your determination. So your self motivation will motivate your surrounding also to support you. My after once joining in my bachelor's in BSc, I joined Rama Devi Women's Autonomous College, and the faculties there were very good. They were very helpful. They were accessible to like accessible for to us, so that we can ask any type of questions, any doubts, and we had a very good learning environment. So that helped me, that kept me motivated to pursue my career further into the research, to do my masters. And I joined my master's in Department of Physics, Utkal University, and that was my first exposure to theoretical physics. So the department had a very innovative and research-oriented environment with great faculties. But I will take this opportunity to mention two women theoretical physicists who were also my teacher in masters. Professor Pushpa Khare, who is an astrophysicist, and Professor Swapna Mahapatra, who is a high energy theoretical physicist. So their research work, their way of teaching inspired me a lot to it developed an interest in me towards theoretical physics. And in my masters, I did a project in astrophysics inspired from Professor Pushpa Khare, and my special paper was in high energy in particle physics. I believe that theoretical physics and experimental physics both go hand in hand. Both are essential and both together form the branch of physics. One cannot exist without the other. Every theoretical predictions need experimental validation, while every experimental results need theoretical analysis. And very good example is there in superconductivity. Like superconductivity, it was an experimental discovery by Camerlin-Wolf in 1911. And the theory to explain it came around 40 to 50 years later, given by Barton Cooper Schiffer in the BCS theory. And in another aspect of superconductivity, the Josephson effect. So Josephson predicted the Josephson effect in 1962, but the scientific community at that time was not most of the most of the people in the scientific community didn't accept prediction, and it was validated once it was experimentally proved. So both theoretical physics and experimental physics are essential for each other. And I believe that every theoretical physicist should know about the experiments in his or her research area, and every experimental physicist should have a basic idea about the theory behind it, the logic, the phenomena, the behind it, so that it will be helpful for them to analyze their results. And obviously, one important aspect is collaboration between theoretical and experimental physicists, because that will develop and help in growth of the science. So a good collaboration is always helpful for both individual and science as whole. So after joining IMSC, I truly came across what research environment is actually, what research environment actually means. And there I learned that creativity is an essential factor to do research. Previously, whatever problems you solved was the problems which was already solved before. It can be tough, it can be easy, but it was already solved before. But now you are going into the research line, and you are going to venture an unknown path. So you are going to solve some unknown problem. No one has solved till now. So you will be the first person to solve it. And for that, you need free thinking. You should be open-minded. You should be ready to accept new concepts and in order to venture the new path. And this was very nicely motivated to us by the IMSC faculties. I am thankful to them. As I had special paper particle physics, so again I was I didn't mention one thing. So I was before entering PhD, I was equally inclined towards experimental physics and theoretical physics, and I had got offer of experimental physics in IIT Kanpur and IMSC Institute of Mathematical Sciences. I did my PhD there. It is a theoretical institute. And the choice of pursuing my career in theoretical physics was completely personal. There was nothing, like nothing special. Like maybe it was because in my family I already had seen an experimental physics, so I thought let's see what theoretical physics being is like. So it's a completely personal choice. And once again, I was in the option that whether I should join particle physics or condensed matter physics, because I enjoyed both the fields. And I came across two professors who became my guide, who motivated me to join condensed matter physics, Professor Archana and Professor S.R. Hassan. So in our course of time, condensed matter physics was taught by Professor Archana. And his way of teaching really inspired me because he didn't use the usual method. So, in order to derive the usual theoretical results which are present in the book, he used the unusual method. Like he started from something completely basic, and then he did the calculation following logics and uh, assumptions. And sometimes we used to get the result, and sometimes there was failure. Like sometimes we didn't use to get the result, and he would start again fresh by some other method. In this process, it's interesting because we used to know why a method failed, what assumptions are wrong to take, what calculation steps are not logical, and also whenever there is a success, we used to know that like how the concepts develop, how the researchers develop the concepts, how we can think a problem by through not in one way but in different ways, how we can attack the problem. So that increased our vision, and that also inspired me to get into condensed matter physics. And then I came across the research work of Professor S.R. Hassan. I was very much interested to work with him. And I was very lucky to have Professor S.R. Hassan, Professor Archana as my guide and co-guide. As a theoretical physicist, Professor S.R. Hassan always said that you should have a deep knowledge of your research area. For being a theoretical physicist, you should have a deep knowledge about many body physics. So you should read many textbooks on many body physics and understand them thoroughly, so that you can apply them in your research areas. And both my guides, they never spoon fed me. So they discussed with me about the problem, allowed me to think freely, allowed me to attack the problem from my side. And whenever I had some difficulties, they were always available to discuss. So we had very good discussions. And particularly Professor S.R. Hassan, he was 24 hours, literally 24 hours available to us for discussion. So that was a great encouragement for me to remain in the research line, because I had such great mentors to help me. And in this uh, uh, in this process of doing research, I these four pillars of success in research, this was said to me by my father, but I personally realized it once I did my research. So the first is perseverance. Work is required in every sphere of your life, that is required for your progress. But in the research area, you should have perseverance also, because in research, many times you can get stuck in a problem for days, months, and even year, and that can be discouraging. Sometimes you might be expecting some results, but you don't get that, and you might think that that is a failure, because after a year of research you don't come to the result you had aspired for. But the interesting thing about research is you never actually have a failure, because in this process of solving the problem, even if you didn't solve it, you have learned new concepts, you have learned new techniques, and this will always be there with you to help you in your future research problems. So there is no failure in research. That is something you can be guaranteed about. And but you have to keep on thinking positive. You should be motivating yourself that you should keep on doing the research problem. You should think of new ideas and never get dejected at any point of time. The second is confidence. So confidence on yourself is very important, because that will help you get into this new unknown path. So you should have the confidence that you can get into the new path and you can conquer it. You can solve the new problems, whatever comes in your path. So confidence is very essential. The next is clear thinking. In research, hard work sometimes might get wasted if you don't have a clear thinking. So you should know what and why you are doing the problem. You should know what is the motivation, what is the importance of your work. You should be clear in your thinking how to approach the problem. What is the correct approach? What is that might not solve the problem, but at least the logics, the techniques behind it should be correct. That should be clear in your mind. And the last but not the least is humor and positive thinking. Research life sometimes can be discouraging if you don't get results, as I mentioned. But you should never lose hope. And research should not never be a burden to you. It should be a passion for you. You should enjoy the process of research. So you should take things lightly, never be tense. Always see the positive side of what you do, because again, there is no failure in research. So you are always in the positive side. So you just need to motivate yourself and think positively. And I think these four parameters can help you go through your research and also pursue your career as a researcher in future. So before going into the inspiration, I would also like to share my PhD journey. Why I learned why I realized these four pillars. So my PhD, when I was given a problem of my PhD problem, it was basically fractional quantum Hall effect in lattice system. So we started with that, and we worked on it for a year, and but we didn't get any successful results. We were not able to understand the fractional quantum Hall effect in lattice system. I was a bit discouraged as a new PhD student, but at that time, I also realized that I have got new topological phases in the lattice system due to strong magnetic field. And that laid the foundation of my PhD. So my PhD thesis is basically study of interaction effects in the Hofstadter regime of the honeycomb lattice. Hofstadter regime is basically when the lattice is placed in a very strong magnetic field. That regime is the Hofstadter regime. And in my search of fractional quantum Hall effect, I reached completely other area, topological phases and phase transition in this system. And so this was quite encouraging for me, and I believe that when for every student, when you enter PhD, your problem is not always assigned. You might not have the PhD problem in front of you, but it will finally have a proper PhD problem with all results as you keep on working. And sometimes the results you are aspiring, you might not get that, as I mentioned, but then that might lead to discovering new phenomena. You might be in the path of discovering completely new phenomena and opening a new path in physics. So that itself is exciting in the line of research. So these are my inspirations in my research life. My PhD guide, Professor S.R. Hasan, and my co-guide, Professor R. Shankar, they have been like a father figure for me in my PhD life with all the motivation and encouragement in every step in my PhD and till now also. And after doing my PhD, I joined as a postdoctoral researcher under a young woman theoretical condensed matter physicist, Professor Sung Min Lee, in Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, KAIST, in South Korea. As a woman, she is a great inspiration for me, both in my personal and professional life. She did her PhD in US. She did her postdoc in Canada and US. And when she was doing her postdoc, she was pregnant, but her research never stopped. She still had her publications. She got a faculty job in world's top in institute, which is within world's top 100 universities. And after having two sons, also, she is having a great publication record, and she works in diversified areas in physics. So her journey is really inspiring for me, and she was a very good mentor to me. She was like an elder sister to me, who was always there to help me out in my professional and also my personal life. And with her, I could venture into a new area of physics. So I was working on topological phases and phase transitions in lattice system. But now I ventured into that work. I continued with her also. But with her, I ventured into a new area, unconventional superconductivity. I learned many new concepts, and we were able to publish new papers, nice papers in this subject with her. After completing my postdoc in KAIST, I had applied for a postdoc in different areas, and especially MagTop was I was interested in MagTop because MagTop basically the MagTop was standing for topology in magnetism and superconductivity. That is something, some part of it I was already working on. So I wanted to join MagTop. But when I interacted with my mentor here, Professor Mishra, I realized that the work is completely different. He works on spintronics, he works on Majorana fermions and its application in quantum computation. So this field was entirely new for me. I was a bit scared while joining, but I also was always interested to work in quantum computation. That was always there in back of my mind. So I took this as an opportunity, and I after I got the offer, I joined MagTop. And Professor Mitchetri, again, I was lucky to have such a good mentor. He was always there. He knew that I was completely new to this area, so he was always there to discuss with me any problem, any new ideas. If I suggest, he said if it is good or if there is any flaw in that. So he was always available to me. And with him, I published my career's till date my career's best publication, the U Shiba region of qubit. I didn't know that I will be giving talk on the specific topic, so I don't have slide on it, but I would like to explain it. So U Shiba region of qubit is basically we have proposed a new type of qubit based on the U Shiba region of states. U Shiba region of states are basically, so you have this is superconductor. The S-wave superconductors are Buse's superconductors, which have a superconducting gap. Now, when you put a magnetic impurity, when a magnetic impurity couples with the superconductor, you will find bound states emerging within this gap, and these states are called as the Yushiba-Rushnov states or Weisser states. And why interesting? It's because when you consider such chain of magnetic impurities, then they are a viable setup to realize topological superconductivity. And topological superconductivity is interesting because they can host Majorana zero modes. And Majorana zero modes are the promising candidate for topological quantum computation. This is what we are still searching. We are still looking for Majorana zero modes. We still have to confirm the presence of Majorana zero modes. There have been many signatures, but there is no experimental confirmation. There are many experimental signatures, but experimental confirmation that this is the Majorana zero modes is yet to come. And using them for topological quantum computation, because topological quantum computation is fault tolerant quantum computation. Any error and any disturbance in the environment will not affect it. So this would be a big leap if we can achieve if we can find Majorana zero modes and use it for topological quantum computation. So in this roadmap towards topological quantum computation, towards finding Majorana zero modes, we took the first step by proposing this U Shiba region of qubit or YSR qubit, which found some kind of quantum degree of freedom in this system. So, and this YSR qubit, it can be its application. We are still working on it. It can be used for universal quantum computation, and it can be also used to manipulate the Majorana zero modes and help in the detection, which will be basically an alternative way to the current experimental procedures of detecting Majorana zero modes, which is through sorry, through differential conductance signatures. So this was my journey till here. In this process, I have gone through many ups and downs, but to keep my sanity and to keep myself motivated, I feel these were some of the essential points. the most important point to keep my sanity was positive thinking. Any moment I felt discouraged or dejected, I used to motivate myself and think positively, and that has helped me reach here. So this is the essential, uh, essential parameter for in research. And then your friends and family support is also very crucial. So with your friends, you can discuss whatever research you are doing. You can get new ideas. You can test your own ideas with them. And staying socially connected with family and friends will keep you safe. I had I would mention two very good friends in IMSC. One is my husband and one is my friend from Kerala. And they supported me mentally whenever I was getting discouraged. They were always there with me to motivate me positively. This was to keep me sane and to keep me motivated in the field of research. I think that participating in conferences, seminar, collaborating with many physicists, discussing with many physicists is very essential, because there you can get new ideas. You can see what is whether your idea is right, whether it is possible to proceed with your idea, and you'll also get to know about what are the recent topics the world is working on. And talking about the recent topics, archive is very essential. You should maybe, I think archive, one should read archive every day if it's possible, maybe as your snacks in the breakfast with tea. But yeah, you will be up to date with the current research with archive and discussing with people. And with that, you should always remain open-minded, and one should be always ready to accept any challenges, and uh, one should be ready to change, improve, and venture new areas without any hesitation. My journey as a woman researcher, I never actually faced any kind of discrimination till now in my research. I had a very supportive environment from both from my family and friends, and uh, not only from my family, also from my in-laws. My father-in-law, who is no more, he was a teacher in electronics, but he would always ask me and my husband about the research, why we were doing this, what is the importance of this, and he will after learning from us, after knowing from us, he will go and he will start reading himself and come up with new questions. So that was very encouraging for me, and I had very nice mentors throughout my research career, so I got proper guidance from them. And I have the willpower. I think willpower and zeal is very essential to explore the unknown path. Apart from this, one important thing which should be there in research is research ethics. One should be true to oneself and to the world. And with that approach, one should proceed into the research arena. So with this, I would like to conclude, and I hope I have shared my journey might have motivated some of you. And thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Archana, for the wonderful talk. It was very inspiring. I'm sure all the participants also felt the same. I have, in fact, taken down some notes so that I can use it in my research journey. I will open the floor for the participants. If they have any questions, I'm leaving the floor to the participants.
Thank you, Archana. Maybe I will start with a question. I have maybe one or two, just to out of curiosity. Okay. Basically, okay. Apart from research, what is your favorite time pass? Because here I can see many researchers, so they can also learn. Like not in research, it is very important to have a balanced thing, right? So I think it will be helpful.
My favorite time pass is like if I get time, then I like to read novels, and also I like to learn new languages. So sometimes when you are too much occupied with research, sometimes when you get stuck, these things help you. Like it helps me actually. It helps me come out from this stress. Give some time to. So here, like in Korea, I used to learn Korean. That was a very nice relaxation for me. In Poland, I am learning Polish. So that acts as a channel of relaxation for me. And yeah, this is my way of relaxation. And music obviously is a uh, great way to remove your tension.
Yeah, thank you. And the next one is like, how you manage your family and research. Do you have any special suggestions for women researchers who are married and like who are a family and like who are struggling to deal with both the things? Because I have few of my friends who are here who really need that kind of motivation.
I I I hope I can help it, because for me uh, it's easier because my husband is a postdoctoral researcher also, so he understands the subject, and we believe in equality, and we are supportive of each other. But as a woman researcher, I think family support is very essential, so that you can pursue your dream without having that side of the having to think much about that side, the personal side. But for that, if you are determined enough, then in case if you don't have the support, you can motivate them. You can make them realize the importance of your work, why you are doing it, why you are having this dream, and hopefully they your surrounding, your family can understand you, and they will come to your support at one point of time. Not I have not gone through any problem as a woman researcher. I have just gone through the problems as a researcher in general. But I have read some very inspiring stories of women researchers in India itself, who had their kids, who had to accompany their husband wherever the husband had their job. They accompanied them, but they never stopped their research. They started collaborating through online with their collaborators, and they continued their research, and finally they are at great positions. So yes, determination and motivation, I think, is enough for you to keep you working in your path of what you want to do.
Thank you so much. And sorry, the next one is, do you have any message for young girls who want to pursue science or engineering, like STEM subjects, for their college or higher career?
Yeah. Uh, like first, it's before the young girls can pursue, or before any student can pursue, they should be they should be given this platform where they can first explore what exactly is this line. So if that platform is given by schools and the colleges and institutes, they're allowed to visit different institutes to see how the research process goes on, or engineering institute, like how things work. Then they will have an idea about all the fields, and then they can choose their path. What really aspires them, what inspires them, what is their what is their interest. They can choose. But I think it's more than young students. I think it's the responsibility of we as a society to first motivate them, because they are young minds. They can always be molded as you show them. So if you show them something positive, they will be able to come to the line which they find interesting.
Yeah, sure. I strongly agree with you because it is our responsibility to showcase the opportunities that are available. In the sense, they'll get some ideas because now the knowledge of these scientific areas are not so much impacted to the students, school students or things. So, yeah, maybe it's a societal role. Like we have to, as a government and researchers, we should form some platforms to communicate or to act as a bridge between the students and the science community or technological research areas. So yeah, true. Thank you for that.
Archana, I have a question. So when you said you proposed the qubit, right? Is it mathematical, purely theoretical proposition, or do you simulate it and see, or is there a parallel experiment that is going on, or experiment that is going on afterwards? How does it work? Because we are all experimentalists, we would like to know what you do for the realization.
Yeah. So this is a purely theoretical prediction, but this has increased the interest in experimentalists. So now we are also in talk with the experimentalists, and they are interested in our work, and they have started checking the parameters and uh, trying to implement our ideas in their experiments. So there has been some experiments about magnetic impurities on superconductor, how to manipulate them. So as this has already uh, developed in experiments, if I say particularly in University of Hamburg in Germany, the group of Professor Roland Wessennagger, they work on these systems, and they have shown how to manipulate magnetic atoms on the superconductors. So once you can manipulate that, once you have achieved that, then achieving this YSR superconducting qubit, this is one step towards achieving this YSR qubit. So we are talking with the experimentalists, and they are trying to implement our ideas, and hopefully someday we can get experimentally YSR qubit also.
Thank you. That was quite insightful. Anybody else has question? You can type it also. Otherwise, we can wind up.
I have a.
Yeah, sure.
James, you are not
Question,
audible.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. It's just a general question for me to stay motivated. So I have my professor. I am a PhD student. I am James, and I am a PhD student in Portugal, working in the field of topological insulator materials. So my professor told me to study one material. So I'm working on that now. I'm doing some literature review. Oftentimes I'll feel that if I'm doing something wrong, am I in wrong path, or am I in correct path to am I in correct path reading correct literature, or am I doing it right, or am I doing it wrong? I often get that ideas in my mind, and I feel kind of confused every now and then. So how do you what do you suggest for me to stay motivated what are your suggestions for me as a young researcher?
Yeah. So you are already on your first step doing literature. So when you are doing literature study, if you are studying about some material, you go through many different papers and you get some ideas. Your interpretation of the paper you are reading might be wrong. Yes, that is always possible. That is still possible for us also, not only as young researchers. Like it is possible for any faculty also. But that corrected once you discuss your ideas with your fellow with your PhD guide, then you present your ideas, and whether your ideas whether your understanding is correct or not can be clarified in other papers by discussing with your colleagues, by discussing with your guide, and at the same time, your idea might not be correct, but at least you developing the idea is also a good step, because you were thinking independently, you were thinking from some perspective. It can be wrong, yes, but at least you had a perspective of it. So that will, this having different perspectives, having thinking in different ways, will help you as a researcher to evolve also.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. And I have another question, which is scientific to discover a material or to discover the measurement of fermions in topological insulators. You said that it is not possible, but I think if I'm right, I've seen some papers explaining that there are some breakthroughs. Is it possible for me at this time? I didn't actually fix my research question. I'm still working on that to working on an application. So is it possible for me at this time to work on that topic, that topological insulator for supercomputers or computation or quantum computation, or is it possible for me, or is it possible to discover the which said that are not experimentally observable, like measurement of fermions, like that? Is it possible for me, or is it possible to observe, or what are the technicals? What are the characterization technique can I do to observe those phenomenon in my material?
So I said it's not possible. I didn't say it's not possible, because everything, it's obviously it's surely possible to see Marana fermions someday. Till now, the experiments which have shown the Marana signature, the presence of Marana zero modes, till now it is not confirmed. Because the only way of detecting Marana zero modes has been see the zero bias peak in the differential conductance. That can be because of Marana zero modes, but that can also be because of that can be accidentally zero bias mode. Like we have Andre bound state, we have this YSR states which can localize at zero energy. So that's why it's not clear whether it is a Marana zero mode or it's an accidental zero bias. And for Marana zero modes, we need the differential conductance also to be quantized, and with and better experiments, with more resolution, higher resolution experiments, we are getting closer to the quantized differential conductance, but still not exactly quantized. So till now, it's not confirmed, but that doesn't mean that it's not possible to realize Marana's remotes. So various approaches to study Marana's remotes. One approach is what I said, considering magnetic impurities on super. The other is considering semiconducting wire on superconductor with spin orbit coupling and strong magnetic field. The other is with topological insulators. When you sandwich topological insulators with superconductivity, that is also an approach to understand Marana's remotes, and many works on that also. So, but maybe we need, maybe we already have Marana's remote, but we are not able to detect it correctly. So maybe we need new experimental approach to confirm that this is a Marana's remote. So one approach which we discussed, like it's just a theoretical proposal, is that dynamics of magnetic impurities, it can, it when you have the magnetic impurities rotating in on superconductor, they then have a feedback torque acting back on the impurity because of this YSR states. And this feedback torque is a universal torque which can be experimentally this will which can be experimentally measured by ESR method, FMR method. So Marana's remotes, when you consider the theory of magnetic impedance dynamics, maybe the Mariner zero modes will have some signature in this ESR method also. So this is another alternative to the current differential conductance setup. So and maybe we can manipulate and predict that Mariner zero modes exist in this system. So nothing is impossible. It's just matter of time, but we will be able to get Mariner zero modes.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for your answers. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you, ma'am.
I have to say thank you so much, Archana. Good evening, everyone. And I would like to express our thanks to each person present here for the webinar. I thank Dr. Archana, who told us today the key to success as a researcher. Especially, I noted the point, what motivated there are many things that motivated me, but a couple of things I want to mention is self-motivation and or support. We have to seek support when we feel we have reduced motivation or something like that. Seeking support and being self-motivated, and the 4 points: perseverance, confidence, clear thinking, and humor sense or positive attitude. And another point that motivated me a lot is the passion. The research should be done with passion, and it should not be found as a burden. So these things I'm sure will motivate everyone and help them to be successful researchers. And thank you, Archana, once for one more thing. Personally, I find what you did, what your father did by taking you to the lab and motivating you. I think I might also take that as a life lesson and start doing that to my children. I have 2 children. I'm sure it will help them also, like it helped you. So thank you so much for every word, accepting our invitation and talk in short notice actually, and then giving us such a wonderful talk. And yes, Archana and I are connected through Dr. Hassan. Dr. Hassan has been my teacher from the beginning. He never ceased to be a teacher. He continues to be a teacher, lifelong teacher. So we are connected through him, and he's through I think we can carry forward what he has taught us in life and in science. And thank you so much for taking your time and giving us such an inspirational talk. I thank each and every participant here for taking their time out, and who are really motivated to go forward as a researcher. I'm sure this talk was inspiring for them all. And I thank the president of Aaivalayam, Dr. Satish, and the director, Dr. Joyce Sophia, for the support, all the support that they gave for this talk. And I thank Mr. Santosh, who coordinated the whole program and led this to a great success. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Archana, once again.
I would also like to thank you for allowing me to present my talk. I would like to thank Aaivalayam for taking such nice initiative and promoting the science in a very nice way, and encouraging young researchers to realize and pursue their career in this line. So this is really a great work, and a great work to the society also. Thank you very much. And I'm really humble for this invitation.
We look forward to hearing more from you. Like, we need more exposure in theoretical side as well. So we look forward
Okay.
to hearing more from you.
Yes, sure. Hopefully, I can do the best too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.